Alright, welcome back to the channel. Warhammer Man back in the studio with another completed commission. Another Sisters of Battle Adepta Sororitas completed army commission. This one is fairly large. I would just give you the rundown of everything and then we can take a closer look. Once again, we have the icy theme with our ruined temple style bases. If you are new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe for everything from our commission showcases when we finish up a commission or army to tutorials for conversions, magnetization, paint schemes, etc. Everything from Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Kill Team, Warcry, Necromunda, and pretty much anything Games Workshop from reviews, reactions, and obviously tutorials as well. So I am Warhammer Man, and these are our Sisters of Battle. So starting in the back corners there, we have our 5 jump troops. We have 5 of the Zephyrum with the Penitent. We have 5 of the Seraphim with a Superior with plasma pistol and sword. We have Celestine and our 2 Gemini in the center there. And then for our support, we have our 2 tanks, one of the Immolator tanks, transport, and a little bit of fire support. And then, of course, we have the Exorcist as well. And then just moving forward, we have 3 different squads of our Sisters of Battle. Each of the 10 women squads contains 1 of the standard bearers, 1 heavy bolter, 1 storm bolter, and then a superior with a combi, flamers. Actually, I think they have various weapons. 1 is a combi flamer with power sword. 1 is a combi melta with chainsword, and 1 is a combi plasma with power sword. So a little bit of diversity with the superiors. And then we have 1 squad of retributors with 4 multi-meltas. The superior has a mace and inferno pistol. We also have 1 magifier, 2 different canonesses, 1 with the rod and sword, 1 with the sword and inferno pistol, and then 1 of our preachers as well. And in this case, it is Thaddeus the Purifier. And then just moving forward there, almost complete, we do in fact have 10 of the Sisters Repentia, including the Superior as well. So that is the rundown for the army here. Obviously lots of options for the vehicles left off so we can switch out some of the weapons. And then of course Celestine and the Gemini are magnetized as well. We have our Ruined Temple style bases and a list of paints used for this commission down in the video comments or description as well. So let us take a closer look. All right, so if we just get started here with our regular Sisters of Battle, Battle Sister squads. Here we have the first of the superiors. This one has the combi plasma. We've got that tesseract glow for the bright green there. And then the tallisar blue for the robes. We used our apothecary white for the armor itself. And then for the metallics, we went ahead and used retributor armor with reikland fleshade. And then our leadbelcher with nuln oil. And that pretty much lays down like our color palette for this commission. Some various other colors as well were used, some of the browns, but mostly overall metallics and contrast paints. So very big fan of the contrast paints. You can see like the brown, that is the snakebite leather there. And then the bases are our Ruined Temple style, custom handmade bases from the Games Workshop temple bits from Sigmar. And we'll just take a look at the rest of the squad here. Next we have a heavy bolter sister. This one has a bionic eye for a little added effect, and obviously no helmet there. Very cool models, and obviously try to mix up the helmets and bear heads depending on what the client wants, just to give some diversity. But specifically with like the heavy weapons and like our Battle Sister Superiors, I try to make sure that we have some diversity so they're not the same model. And then for the first of our banners, we have a slight conversion. This one uses actually the Penitent from the Zephyrum squad. Just so that we have some diversity, I like to use the 3 different available banners. So each one looks different. Cool models with like the bolter strapped to the back. And then I go ahead and give her the pistol hand there. Very cool. Very nice overall. It's got a little bit of basing built into the model, and then we make that transition in with the actual base effect that we do as well. And here we have the first of our little cherubs. These are like the ammo cherubs that let you get an extra shot. Obviously nice to use with the heavy weapon or like the combi weapons on the sergeant in the event that you need a little extra punching power. Basically get like a one-time use out of these guys. Very cool models, and they've got a little diversity to them. So I try to do a couple of each different one-up so they have a little difference to them. And just moving right along, here we have one of the Stormbolter sisters. We use the Black Templar contrast paint for the bolter casings. Goes over nice, puts a nice coating, and then leaves kind of like the metallic underlook or undersheen to it as well. Very cool models overall. A little extra firepower from these girls. Then we'll go ahead and take a look at our next Sororitas Sergeant or Superior. This one has the combi meltagun. Again, this one has like the sheath for the sword on the side there for a little extra effect. And then obviously chainsword and bionic eye to kind of show off her veteran status as the squad leader. And once again, we have a heavy bolter. The faces are done with Guilliman flesh. We'll see when we get to the Sisters Repentia. I've done quite a few different flesh tones to make them a little more individual. Everything from like our lighter pale white all the way to basically like a dark brown or black chocolate skin for a little bit of diversity with them. Overall, heavy bolters, very nice choice and standard to lay down some firepower. And then obviously try to make sure that I'm using different models and different poses and heads so they're not all looking exactly the same. And one more of our cherubs here. This is the standard cherub that comes with the Sisters of Battle squad right there. It's like the long one with like the sensor below it. This is more for if you don't have a specific weapon you'd be using it on. Some of the other ones have specifics like a heavy flamer cartridge or a multi-melta if you care to have a little more specific for your squad. And then next we have another one of our standards. This Simulacrum Imperialis. Wait, did I say the right thing? I think that's it. This one has a little cherub built onto the top. It's got like a little relic in the box up there. Very cool pose. The pistol out in the action pose. And then this one we did up with the helmet. You can see once again the little bit of like rocky base that is built onto her leg. And then obviously we have the converted bases as well. And these are all handmade, so no two ever look the same. And you can see the glowing green eyes from our Tesseract Glow contrast paint. Or technically, I think it's a technical. Technically, it's a technical. And just moving right along, we have the next of our cherubs. This one comes from our retributor squad and is carrying a heavy flamer cartridge with a little bionic eye and like some little blood cartridge thing going on its arm there. Little bionic arm. Very cool. Tons of detail. Cool models. And here we have one more variant of the cherub. This one has a multi-melta cartridge. Again, bionic eye and skull face with like the little metallic halo. And you can see the diversity between these things, how cool all the individual models are. And next, we'll just take a look at our retributors. They are all four equipped with a multi-melta. This one obviously has a bionic eye and a very cool overall pose. Definitely a big fan of these, and the multi-meltas hit very hard in combat. And the next of our multi-meltas, this one has a different style of face, sort of like the gas mask kind of looking style. Definitely like this one. I think in battle I would probably wear my helmet for safety reasons, but I suppose in a world with titans and las cannons and whatnot, probably your helmet is not nearly as important as the faith in the Emperor. And here we are, one more multi-melta, again with a bionic eye, a little different of a style, a little different of a pose, but overall same basic theme. And here is our final multi-melta, once again a bionic eye, each one different, some helmeted, some not, just trying to make sure that we have some diversity amongst the ladies here. And last but not least for this squad, we have the Sister Superior. This one has a little piece on the back showing off that she is in fact the squad leader. She has an inferno pistol and some grenades, and then a mace. And once again, little piece of terrain built onto the model molded into the base. All right, and jumping back here next, we have the first of the Seraphim. Here is our Sister Superior with the power weapon and plasma pistol. Once again, the plasma pistol has our tesseract glow, and then she is done up with a little extra like gold headband and other stuff to kind of make her stand out a little fancier than the rest of the squad. And then obviously we have our cool flying stands so that they give the effect that they are jumping or flying over the battlefield. And just to show off one more of these ladies, again, we have just one more here with a couple of the bolt pistols. She has her little like fancy little bits around her. Can't think of the name of them right now, but her little rosary hanging from her hand there. A couple bolt pistols and nice little jump backs, some grenades and whatnot. Again, these models are very, very cool. I'm a big fan of them. And we can just skip over and take a look at our canonesses next. This is the first of the canonesses with a cool headband on her helmet. She has the rod and a power sword. Obviously very fancy overall, lots of gold and very ornate so that she stands out amongst the regular troopers. She has a plasma pistol at her side there and a bionic leg. Very cool overall model. And then obviously lots of fancy blue robes with some gold trim as well. Definitely a big fan of this model. I know that some people like it and some do not, but overall I think very cool. And I like to have the two different canonesses so that they stand out from each other. And here's our second canoness. This one is the one that comes separately of the box set. This one has the power sword and inferno pistol, bionic eye, and again, nice gold headband, and then a variance backpack on this one. She has basically like the Iron Halo looking backpack hanging over her head. And then she comes with like a little piece of a pillar broken and part of her like base that's been added into this base to give a little bit of an effect, and painted obviously to match as well. Again, very big fan of this model. I like the bionic eye and everything. Tons of different weapon options and everything, but I do like to have the different variant canoness poses as well. And moving right along, we have the Amagifier. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce that, but she is basically like the fancy version of the standard bearer with some extra bonuses for the army as opposed to just the squad. Very cool, unique head on her, like kind of covering up her eyes with the hood. She has, once again, the bolter strapped to the side, basically like the ivory-looking statue standard. And then, of course, just kind of her arm to the side. Very fancy model. Definitely like how it came out. Beautiful sculpts on all of these Sisters of Battle, and by far worth the wait after, decades of basically waiting for the new plastic models to come out. Next, we have our priest or preacher. This one is the Thaddeus the Purifier model, holding out the book in front. He's got like the little servo skull with a gun on there so that he can have a range weapon, and then, of course, a power weapon or mace. Very cool model. I like the robes. He fits in very well with the army with his overall like religious holy man like purity look to him. Big fan of this model as opposed to like the old school like metal or fine cast ones. This one is plastic and fits in much better with the new sculpts and everything. Very cool model. Definitely fits in, and I like how he came out. And just moving right along here, we have the first of the Gemini. These one are done with a little bit different of a color scheme. Obviously the gold with the blue robes to match the army, but wanted to make sure that the Gemini themselves stand out very nice from like just the regular Seraphim and Zephyrim, which they obviously do. These are cool sculpts, as instead of the plastic flight stands, they have like the little banner kind of things built in so that they have like the hover effect. And then once again, as always, these models are magnetized. So the backpacks are removable, so they do not break in transport or anything like that. And here we have the other Gemini. And again, very cool sculpt. Absolutely love these models. And came out very nicely for this paint job as well. And of course, magnetized, just like the other one also. And of course, no Sisters of Battle army would be complete without the one and only living Saint Celestine. Absolutely phenomenal model. In many ways, her and the Gemini paved the way for the entire range and showed us way ahead of time what we could expect. Absolutely love this model. She is on another one of our ruined temple style bases, and again has like the banners hanging down that give her the flight effect. She has the roses on her sword, the doves flying from her side, and then obviously the giant angel wings. Very beautiful model, highly detailed. I love the like iron halo above her head, and the full effect. Definitely the model represents her sainthood very well. And then of course, once again, magnetized so that the wings are removable, as this is the most likely thing in probably the entire army to break in transport or playing the game. And magnetizing it makes it so if she does fall, there's not like a break point. And also for transport, you don't have to worry about the wings breaking. I know from firsthand experience, as my original Celestine broke many, many times. No matter how many times I glued it, it was never the same. So from now on, I have vowed to always magnetize Celestine and her Gemini. And just moving right along here, we have the third style of the banner or relic, and then obviously this one has the short haircut. Again, sort of like a reliquary, kind of on a stick there, as it has like a cool little thing going on, bolter strapped to the side and pistol in hand. Very cool. I like this one just as much, if not more, than the other ones. And once again, a Sister Superior to lead the final squad. This one with a power sword and combi flamer. And then, of course, the sheath at her side, a couple grenades, and a nice helmeted head. Fancy little purity seal on the backpack. And, of course, very, very nice sculpt. One of my favorites. The Superiors obviously have little larger of the Imperial Cross on the front there, and then some extra kind of like jewelry so that they do stand out amongst the regular sisters. And here is the final heavy bolter to go with our individual Sisters of Battle squads. This one is just a standard helmeted head, no bionic eye or anything fancy, but you can see obviously how nice the tallisar blue looks with a couple coats, and paying attention to where you lay it down and how beautifully all these contrast paints look in the end. And here we have the Penitent Superior. She is the leader of the Zephyrum and carries the Flaming Penitent in hand. And this obviously, other hand power sword, but this gives her some super cool effects and benefits like her units and nearby units. Gives them additional abilities when deep striking in or within a certain distance of her. And then, of course, she has that cool little dove kind of flying down at her side. Very detailed model, cool on the flying base, and, stands out above the rest with the banner and the fire and everything. And again, we use started with the contrast paints for the fire, and then progressively work towards like a darker red, almost with a little black mixed in as well. So very, very cool model. Definitely an awesome accent to any army. And just to kind of show off one of the regular Zephyrum as well, each of them is armed with a pistol and sword. And then once again, they have the special helmets and the spiky looking winged backpacks as well. And then, of course, the cool flight stands, a couple grenades, and no sister would be complete without a little piece of parchment hanging off there somewhere, whether it's a purity seal or just a little parchment wrapped around there. Definitely add some cool accents and extra color to the army. All right, and then next we can take a look at our tanks. This is the Immolator, transport with some heavy weapons as well. Does have the option to slide off these heavy flamers and switch on the heavy bolters and multi-melta. So you can have twin, whichever you like, if you need some troop killers, some flamey burn fire, or of course the multi-meltas for destroying something big, heavy, and armored. Again, use the tesseract glow for the headlights, and down inside, a little glow effect coming from in there. And then, of course, it has one more heavy bolter on the front. Once again, you can see sort of like the ivory statues on the side. This is one of my favorite kits. Extremely, extremely well detailed and lots of cool stuff going on. And then if we just kind of spin it around there, you can see lots of detail on the back, the wood detail, the cherub as well. The cherub is not actually mounted to the model, so it can be removed. And then it's kind of optional whether or not you want to glue it or not. For me, it's too much of a liability to break, but I do include it, obviously, if the client wants to put it on there. And then, of course, it has the clear stained glass. I do not like the colored stained glass effect, and also I think game terms, it would be annoying trying to look through a randomly colored and tainted thing in the middle of battle. So I do like to leave them clear. But you can see the little statue on the back with the candles burning and everything. Tons and tons of detail on the pilot and her little like control station and everything. And of course, the turret itself is removable, so you can just pull it off there or just kind of spin it around for game terms. It does not spin around completely because of like the little spike bits right there, but it has like a nice little rotation, about like 45 degrees or so on the front. And then the actual weapons have the ability to kind of pivot up and down for thematic purposes. And last but not least, quite possibly my favorite model from the range, we have the Exorcist Tank, the organ missile launcher with the obvious pilot playing it, a couple of cherubs in the background. But this is a hard hitter, great for ranged firepower. The model itself is absolutely phenomenal as well. Just the detail of this tank is just absolutely stunning. Obviously, the contrast paints and metallics do it very well also. Everything from like the wings on the back, all the statues, and the burning flames on the sides, all the intricate detail around this whole thing. And then obviously, hits hard as well. And then most importantly, for transport effects and whatnot. We do not glue the organ itself, so it can be easily removed for transport, storage, etc. So it can be like laid down safely. It doesn't stick up, having all the little spiky bits waiting to break off. You can see like the cool little reliquary in there. All the little roses down in the back, and then obviously like the actual like keyboard itself. Very cool, very stunning detail. Everything from like the marble, like ivory down in the bottom of that to like the little reliquaries like on the side and in the back there. And then obviously the cool exposed pilot, all the little spiky bits and everything. And then of course, making sure everything doesn't break. Being able to assemble it like this and leave this bit off for like transport and whatnot is definitely recommended. When you build it, you just don't build this part onto it. Don't glue that onto it. And then you can easily just slide it. It fits into place and stays on securely. But when you want, you can remove it also as well. And last but not least, we have the Sisters Repentia. So here we have the whipping taskmaster of the Repentia. She helps them out a bit with morale and I think gives them a little extra movement burst. I can't quite remember the special rules this edition. But very cool model. I like the hood and little like golden tiara. And then obviously the whips are super cool as well and good in game terms also. And we have a bunch of different variants for the actual Repentia. This one is obviously, they're all very cool, very elaborate, basically just meant to go out there and die and repent for their sins in life. So they hit super hard, but they are definitely like a glass cannon in many ways, as they can do a lot of damage, but they are very fragile. But I love the actual models. And a bunch of different variants. Here's the next one. This one has like kind of like the neck collar on. And obviously they have lots of parchments all over them. Cool little like lock and keys set up. This one has a bunch of like chains and stuff hanging down. Very, very cool models. And each one is just like completely different from the next for each of the different sculpts they have. Very detailed, very elaborate. And also just for a little extra variance, alternated between like the shorts and the shirts being blue and white, so that they would all have like a little bit of blue and a little bit of white to kind of fit in with the army. And then obviously the black for the weapons, the metallics, and obviously lots of parchment on them as well. And once again, we can see super unique pose on these. And I used a couple of the various contrast paints to give different skin tones. So like we have wildwood for the darker or like chocolate brown like this one here, Guilliman flesh, and then a couple of the other various skin tones as well. Even if you just have like 2 or 3 of them, I think it gives enough variance. And then you can see obviously, snakebite leather for like the shoes, and then we have still the blues and the whites, and then our skeleton horde for the parchment throughout the range. And then I've used the, I believe it's the Blood Angels Red, the contrast paint, for the little purity seals as well. And just showing off like one more of these here. Again, you can see all the variance between them. Very, very cool models, and I love all the different sculpts offered. They give you plenty of head options, and each one is just absolutely loaded up with details so that you don't have to make any two look the same. So that is it for our Adepta Sororitas, Sisters of Battle Army Commission. Obviously a nice large army right there. Very grateful that we have the opportunity to complete these large commissions. This one is for a new client. And I know he is super excited to get this army and get to playing with it. Very nice selection, obviously, full battalion, plenty of heavy support, and lots of mobility as well. And then, of course, Celestine and some various HQs. If you like the video today, make sure you like and subscribe, share it with your friends or on social media. Always appreciate all the social media attention and all the views and likes. Please interact with this video, as it does help for the algo to get it out there, share the channel, and obviously get our name out as well. If you like the video today or you have any questions about it, please leave a comment or ask questions, and I'll be glad to get back to you with any details. Also in the description is a list typically of all the models shown off, and then also the paints and colors used in the videos to achieve these effects. I have lots of different videos also just showing off exactly how we do everything from the custom Ruin Temple style bases to magnetizing Celestine and the Gemini, etc. So if you do have any questions or are curious about the paint colors or how I achieved a certain effect, please reach out and I'll be glad to get back to you with the details. Thank you very much for looking today. Thank you to all the people that have used our commission service, as that is what makes this entire situation possible. Without people purchasing our commissions, we would not be able to do work on all these various armies, and basically it makes what we do possible. So thank you very much. Extremely grateful for the position that we're in to be able to grow the studio and provide so many awesome and amazing armies. If you are looking for something like this, feel free to reach out to us, or you can check us out on eBay as well at Warhammer Man, War Space Hammer Space Man, or Warhammer Man Studios, obviously, on YouTube and Facebook as well. I don't really use the Facebook as much, but if you reach out, we will eventually get back to you with the messages. So, but make sure you check out lots of the other videos. I will have some links to some of the related videos as well, and keep your eyes out for some fresh content at least once, or try for 2 or 3 times a week. But obviously, depends how busy we are, how many videos we're able to release. But again, thank you very much. Check us out for Warhammer 40k, Age of Sigmar, Warcry, of course, Necromunda, and finally Kill Team content as well. And one day, possibly some battle reports if we do slow down a little bit at the studio. But lately, the demand has been through the roof for commission painting. So, and for that, I am grateful. And with that, I will let you guys go. Thank you very much for checking out the video today. If you did enjoy it, make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I am Warhammer Man. This is our Sisters of Battle Adepta Sororitas Contrast and Metallic Paint Commission. And I'm out of here.